Amber is half of the latest rival pair to get sent packing on MTV's The Challenge All-Stars Rivals. Amber, you and Fessy looked strong this season. So what caused everything to sort of come crashing down this week?
Uh, I think that for me, I just feel like there was more people, there were more people aligned than I knew, and there were more connections and stuff like that. So because of that, we just didn't really have the allies in the game, to have the numbers. But uh, yeah, I just felt like it was there's a lot going on I didn't know about.
And it seemed like you really wanted it this season. I mean, how badly did it hurt to go out the way you did against Nany and Turbo?
Well, going against Nany and Turbo and losing against them, at least it was Nany and Turbo. I would have hated to lose against some of those other teams up there. Yeah. But going other than that, like I feel like I was hoping I really did want to win. I wanted to win for Fessy just to prove we could have won a final together. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make it to the end and be like, "Ugh, I'm gonna give my all. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make it to the end to show him that he should have ran with me the first time." And we could have already done this probably twice by now. But I really wanted to win and wanted to stay as long as I could to stack up every week that I was there. I have not been back in a while because I've been a mom and I wanted to do everything I could to bring home the bag for my family. So it was I was hungry for it this season. There were so many reasons, and my biggest reason why was my daughter. And my second biggest reason was getting Fessy and showing him what he should have did the first time and stick with me. We wouldn't have to even do this. But it is the reason we're rivals, is because he didn't believe in me the first time around. Yeah, it just sucks that I went out this early on. Or
What
I
was it?
guess we're halfway there. It's not so early, huh? We last a
Not too
little
early.
while.
You lasted quite a while, but what was it like when you got there and TJ said it was rivals? I mean, you sort of got lucky, I think, in terms of
Yeah.
the rival. What there were worse rivals out there that still don't like each other. So, how were you able to reconnect, and has that been gratifying for you to sort of have that friendship back?
Yeah, first it was never a friendship to begin with. I would avoid him at all costs anytime I had to deal with him on another season. But just being roomed with him, bunked with him, stuck with by him 24/7, like knowing that he's not leaving, like I really needed to kind of just like I was doing it to myself. Like, I was just like, let me just get to know this person, and actually get to know them. So yeah, I felt like I just needed to, once we were on that page, and we've had a lot of deep conversations, just conversations in general, about other things other than the game. I felt like it connected with him on like a friend level too. It wasn't just about the game. Like we talk now. I just saw him like 2 weeks ago, at an event. Like we're cool. Me and Fessy are cool, and I feel like any moving forward, he'll be an ally. Like that's someone I want to see win. That's someone I want to work with. Um, I did get lucky though. He is very smart. He is all brains, on top of just physically. Like he can do a lot of things. Maybe his biggest weakness is eating, which I hate too. I feel like that together would just, it's just not it. But I felt like I did get lucky, like just having him, and he's chill. Like, you know what I mean? The only thing is I felt like I just had to prove to him. I wanted to be on his level of like smart and just how he competes and how he is physically. I was like, okay, I can be that for him. And so just trying to prove myself, I think, I was just like, and that was my mindset. I was like, I don't want him to be mad at me or upset with me or not think that we can't do something. So I gave my all and I tried my hardest, to get us to the end.
Well, listen, Amber, you're the one that is a former champion coming back, so maybe
Hmm.
he should prove himself to you. I mean, what was that like to go from Big Brother to the challenge and
Hmm.
have a success the way you did?
I feel like Big Brother, I got the shit end of this stick on that. So like, I felt like it was like my second chance. And now there are plenty of times I wanted to leave on Double Agents my first season. I was like, this is not for me. Like, um, But I pushed through. I was just like, but if I go back home, I left during the pandemic. I lost my job. I had to move back to Tennessee. There was so much going on. So I was like, if I go home, I'm going to be miserable. So why not just be that way, feel the way I felt somewhere else? And look, I came out and I won. So I just felt like it was like a second chance for me. And now I have this crazy dysfunctional family of challengers that I have a love-hate relationship with. So I can't be mad. But I did miss it and just being gone the little time that I did because I had a baby. Like it feels nice to be back. Like I can't believe like I was gone that long. Like I don't ever want to be gone that long from another season. I actually enjoy it. It's fun. I like to compete. I miss TJ. I missed just the challenges and the chaos. But yeah, it just feels good to be back, and I'm very just grateful for each experience I get on every season I do.
Well, it was interesting this season because you and Fessy had racked up a couple wins. You were
Mhm.
looking great, and then this week, Veronica and Katie pull off a victory, and then suddenly they get the house to shift to vote for you and Fessy as the house vote to go into elimination. That got kind of heated in that
Mhm.
moment as the votes started coming in on you. What made you the most upset in that moment?
I think going in, like even before the season, like Veronica and I, we message each other like, "Hey, let's have each other's backs," like let's look out for each other. So I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm like working with her, trying to get as far to the game with her as we can. Um, and just looking back and knowing that none of these people were on my side, I think it was more hurt than anything. And I think that's where that was coming from. If just like I thought I made friends this season. I thought I had allies this season. And me being like, do, 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 like being like, Amber, no, there's other relationships, other connections. So yeah, I think it just overall I was just hurt that like the season I felt like was different because I did have allies and I did have friends. And then the familiar part was everyone turning on me like they usually do. So I was like, oh, nothing new. So here we are again. But I was cool going in. That wasn't the problem. It was just feeling that from everyone. But because we needed a star anyway. So if we went in, we went in. It wasn't like, but yeah, it just sucks.
When Corey left last week, he
Mhm.
sort of warned you about Veronica and Frank. Why? He was telling the truth, but like, how did you know to believe him in that moment?
At first I didn't know. I had to like peep. I had to just start watching because at first I was like, maybe Corey's just saying this because Veronica and Katie seemed they were kind of both going at it with each other like every now and then. So I was like, they just aren't gonna see eye to eye. So maybe Corey's just saying this because he has a vendetta or something out for Veronica because they had it out for them, like whatever. So that was my thought process. And then I was like, let me just watch because like and I was like, okay, no, me and Veronica are cool. Like I was like, let me just watch. So I started connecting things like someone would come up to me, like Nany, for instance, was, are you saying my name? Are you playing this? I was like, no. And then like I would go to her and be like, did you say this or this happened? She's like, no. And then I know where it came from. It came from Veronica. So I was like, hey, someone's stirring the pot. Then you have Frank who I started peeping. And then I heard that he knew a few days prior to nominations, he knew some information about me possibly going in at the other last nomination. I don't know, something. And it was information that I would have told him that he kept to himself. So I was like, okay, there's other things going on that I'm not seeing. Like, Amber, figure it out. And then I think that's when I was just like rage, like just pissed. I was because these people were playing me the whole time, and I think that's where my that passion came from. I guess I'll use that word.
Well, Adam and Steve were voted into four eliminations in a row,
Hmm.
and they sent four teams home. And
Hmm.
you and Fessy had a hand in that in some way. You sent in Beth and Janae, and then you
Hmm.
sent in Anissa and Ashley to face off, sort of knowing they would probably go home. Was that strategy, what led to that strategy, and do you stick by that? Do you think you should
Yeah.
have done something differently?
So Beth and John A, real quick, that basically was so early on in the game. If it weren't us, if we didn't win, we probably would have been another strong team in that stand. So we had to think maybe we should work with these strong teams. And this is the breakdown that Fessy and I talked about. But we should maybe that's what we do is we work with the strong teams early on because why turn on them and then they win the next one and come for us. So we're somewhere in that line. So it was more so like let's work with some of the stronger teams. And then me and Beth or John A came to me. When she came to me, I was like, this is the first time we were really talking game. And then I told her, I'll be like, she wasn't on my radar. Like, she wasn't even a thought process. We get to elimination. We're like, yo, like, we can't, let's just do it this way. Let's go Beth and John A. No blood on our hands. There's no ties there, no promises. We're not talking game with them. So that's that. Then when it came to Ashley Mitchell and Anissa, um, Fessy and I talked, and Anissa's tied to everyone. There's so many. She has a lot of friends, but where do Fessy and I fall on that bracket? Like where are we at? And then it's like, okay, if we can't take out a strong team, Devin and Leroy, because we're working with them and they're our roommates, why don't we take out Devin's number one, which is Anissa? So it was kind of like we're trying to figure out like a way to take out numbers for strong players if we couldn't take them out early on in the game. So that's kind of where that came from. I know people wanted to see a banger, want to see people go, strong teams go against each other, all that, but it wasn't good for our game if we wanted to get far, to do it right then.
And
Yeah.
now we've seen you partnered up with your rival. Who would be in the future your top choice, your number one draft pick as a male and number one draft pick as a female as a partner in a future challenge?
Okay, I want Fessy now to run it back again because I feel like if we can make it to a final, if the only thing we can't do together is eat, and we kind of both suck at puzzles, obviously. But if we can make it to the final, we can get there. I just want to run it back again. So I feel like if I can make it far with him, hopefully. And I feel like he was a good partner. This season, I felt like yeah, I can stand him as a partner and as a person. So I'd run it back with him. If not Darrell, I would really like to do another season with my first ever partner, Darrell. Dang, I can name some more. Oh, actually, Darrell, and then can I name one more?
One more.
Okay, one more. Jordan. I know he's very intense and he's very passionate, but I would love to be partners with Jordan. Female, would definitely be Ashley Mitchell. I would definitely like to. I feel like she's someone that would balance me. And she's a lot of fun. Yeah, so probably Ashley would be like my number one draft pick with female. I know I sent her in this season and it sucks that I love Ashley. It was just she was connected to Anissa, and so I'm sorry, Ashley. I love you.
Well, we hope to see that in the future. And
Yeah.
congratulations. I mean, the challenge, you're one of the people that like truly changed your life. It directly led
Mhm.
to being a mother. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
what a cool impact. That is the family good. Last
Oh
question.
my God, the family is amazing. I want more kids. So I got to do a few more seasons. I plan on having more kids hopefully in a couple of years. So yes, I want to add to my little family. We are so good, happy, healthy, and blessed. So thank you for asking.
All right. Thanks so much. And have
Thank you.